Hey everybody, Jake here again, and I'm gonna go through my Ascension 17 Slay the Spire run. So you see I'm looking at the map here, what do my first few fights look like to try to figure out what my Niao bonus should be. And I look and see that theoretically there's a path that I could take that could get me an elite that would only have 1 HP. So I try to go for that, and I try to math out what the well, math is the wrong word. I try to figure out what the best path would be in terms of actually getting it, because I have to take 2 regular fights, so I need to get kind of lucky to not have one of the question marks be a fight, so that I can get to the elite and he only has 1 HP. First card I get to take, I decide to take Clothesline. It's not great for the boss, who's going to be the slime boss. I mean, it's fine, but I usually just think applying weak is strong enough that it's usually worth going for. So I get to upgrade a card and I choose the Clothesline, because applying more weak is better. And then I get to a shop, and what do I decide to do here at the shop? I think I remove a card. Yeah? Oh yeah, I do remove a card. I'm actually curious about this. I have been lately removing Bash pretty quickly, and I'm not sure if that's right or not, but I mean, I know it all depends, right? But I tend to remove Bash pretty quickly, mostly just because the Ironclad has a lot of 2-cost attacks in his card pool that are pretty good, like Clothesline, and occasionally Perfected Strike or Uppercut. So I look at Bash as competing with those, so I tend to take it out when I have one of those 2-cost attacks. I don't know. Maybe it's a better card than I give it credit for. And I'm looking and lamenting that I hadn't used the vulnerability potion earlier, but I go ahead and use it now. And I decide not to block at all, just try to burst him down so that I don't have to deal with his soul siphon for very long. And maybe I could have prevented a little bit of damage here, I don't know. Obviously, if the fight lasts another turn, I'm not really preventing that damage, so he only has 4 health left. And I get the Paper Frog, which is great because it just removed the card that actually applies vulnerable. So that'll be a useless relic for a little bit until I get another source of vulnerable somewhere. But we're at a campfire and we get to Smith, and I upgrade the Iron Wave. My reasoning there being that I'm pretty much always playing Iron Wave whenever I have it in my hand, so I might as well upgrade it. See, look at me, playing Iron Wave. Good job, Jake. Good job. Yeah, clothesline him. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Alright, so next we block and hang out for a little bit and kill him this turn. Fairy in a bottle. I never really know what to do with this potion in terms of like how long I should hang on to it, or should I always keep it if I can? It seems like a pretty weak potion effect to me in terms of the other things I could have in those potion slots. It takes up a slot, and that's kind of annoying. So, I haven't had it actually save my life very many times either. Usually, if something is going to kill me, it's, often a multi-attack that just kills me right through the fairy, or I'm already in a fight that I couldn't win, so I die anyway. I don't know. I've never really had the fairy in the bottle actually make a difference, I don't think. But at the same time, something that saves me from death is something I'm kind of loath to discard. And of course, as always, I try to take out one of the guys on the sides over here, and then from there I just work on the guy with the lowest health. So if you are watching this and you're newish to the game and wondering how to take on this fight, know that the guys who are on the sides always attack in sync, and the guy in the center attacks when they're not attacking. So basically, it's just easier to block 10 damage every turn than it is to block 20, then 10, then 20, then 10, or 20, then 0, then 20, then 0. So the first one you take out really needs to be one of these ones on the ends. And then you just take out the weakest one because they junk you and you want to finish the fight. Okay, they're down. I get the Ancient Tea set. Another relic I often find to do very little. I mean, I know theoretically it's good, energy's great, but the fact that you don't really get to choose what fight you bring it into, and your starting hand, how often can you capitalize on that 2 energy? How often do you need to play every single card in your starting hand? I don't know. Okay, and we're gonna kill him before he gets away. And I decide that the power potion is better than the steroid potion. Again, maybe I wanted to get rid of the fairy, but I don't know. I do tend to prioritize the power potion kind of above all else, just because I find that to be the highest impact potion on something like a boss fight, just because powers are really powerful and expensive. So getting to play one for free is pretty good. Look at that block! Yeah, so that's why I don't like the Ancient Tea set. And I'm deciding what to do, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm thinking about here, because I have 2 energy, so I can kill the guy and I can block. I almost ended my turn. Okay. Alright, we got back in it, Jake. That's okay. And we're gonna kill him. Heal up with Iron Blood or whatever, Burning Blood. I get a Fiend Fire in the deck. And I would like to remove a card, but I'm about to fight the boss, and I would rather smith than rest, so I decide not to take the option that's going to drain my health, just because I feel like I'm going to need that health if I want to get away with smithing instead of resting. So here we go, starting the fight off, I pop my power potion, and decide that because his first few turns are not attacking, I can get away with taking Berserk. Whereas normally when I play a Berserk, I just die. But maybe it'll be okay here because I'll have a couple of turns for that vulnerable to wear off. And I do know I need to get him into split territory because I realized that even though I realized that basically I had done something very stupid because when I had taken the Berserk, I had just enough vulnerability left for when he got into his Slime Crush mode. So this is gonna kill me if I don't split him. So let's do that. When he gets to half health, he splits. So let's just play all the damage in your hand. There we go. Good boy. Yes. This is how you don't die. Thank you. And then it's time to just wail on some slimes. So he's about to split this turn, so I decided to just pump as much damage into him as I can. And what are we looking at? Rampage is powered up, so we can kill one of these guys. And I hate the frail debuff so much. I really do. So we do a little more damage. And this is scary. We're down to 1 health. What am am I doing? We're gonna kill him, and then we're gonna weaken the big slime and get him a little bit closer to Split Town, I think. Yeah? Yeah? Do it! Yes. Okay. So, he has he's to the point where he's gonna split this turn. I didn't draw as much damage as I would have liked to pump into him, but I do draw the rampage, and that's 24. That's adequate. So he's gonna have 13 health when he splits, and we're just gonna do some cleanup duty here, and he's dead. So another fairy. Now I have two. And I am looking at the different cards that I have. I decide that Feed is the best choice. I don't have any Strength in my deck, or Limit Break would be great. And now, so obviously I have two choices for what relic I'm going to take. And it's either Pandora's Box or Astrolabe, and both of them I think are valid. The Pandora's Box is potentially higher value but riskier, whereas the Astrolabe is guaranteed, pretty much guaranteed to make my deck better, but not by as much as the Pandora box might have. So I don't know. I decide to transform 3 strikes, and I get Corruption, Dual Wield, and Double Tap. So those are fine. Alright, I see my boss is the champ, so I have the Rampage in my deck, but I'm going to need scaling damage. That's kind of just a general premise, but some kind of damage that scales up over time is something you just need in this game to win, usually, I find, but against the champ especially, because once he gets down to half health, he starts hitting really hard, so the idea is to get him down to almost half health and then finish him off. We'll see if I can get something in my deck that can help me do that. So I'm looking at, either way, I'm spending 2 energy and playing one, and playing. So I decide it's more damage to play the Feed and the Strike. That was a great draw, by the way. Did you see that sick draw? I'm really good at this game. I've got Corruption, and this was dubious, yeah, because he's got his debuff up. I put 3 strikes in my. That just seems bad, right? So, and it gets me hit really hard because it put all those dazed in my deck from playing the dual wield and then the shrug it off. So that was probably just a huge mistake. I do get to double tap my clothesline and a strike. And he's down to 1 health. This is great. I love my life. And we finish him off with Fiendfire, because why not? I decide that the second fairy is not as good as a Gambler's Brew, and I take the Flame Barrier. Now, this is bad, because I really cannot afford to take the damage. It's too much damage for where my health is right now. So I decide to take a Curse, which has long-standing implications for the rest of the run, but I kind of just have to do it so I can survive. And we're going to give some money to this guy and get the Matryoshka. It's great. That'll be great. I decide, I look if I go that way, I can get a campfire before the elite that I'm going to fight, and I am thinking that I'm going to need that. So what am I doing here? I decide to do Flame Barrier, whereas Clothesline Defend would have had me taking a little bit of damage, but it would have him weak, so maybe Clothesline Defend would be better because he'd be weak this turn. But I decide to go ahead and pop the Gambler's Brew just because I don't really feel keen on taking 12 damage. And I'm rewarded for it. I get to make a much smarter use of dual wield this time. I put more feeds in the deck. Obviously, I'll only get to use one to increase my health, but feed is just such a good card. It's just so much damage for one energy. And we're just gonna try not to take damage and do as much as we can. And what are we looking at here? It looks like I am about to get screwed. Nice. Alright, so I get to double tap on the anger, which is going to allow me to not get the kill with feed, which is exactly what I wanted. So I take a little bit of damage, and I don't draw one of the feeds. That's okay. I didn't want to. Um, I didn't want to increase my max HP. That's dumb. So I take an upgraded Inflame, and I don't know. My deck's not really hurting for damage right now, but Inflame is kind of a card I tend to gravitate toward anyway, and it came to me upgraded, so because of the frozen egg. So I figured why not. So this fight, I don't think I end up taking too much damage. I usually take the rat out first, just because he's easier, but he applies that vulnerable debuff, so I don't know if that's right. Vulnerable does really suck. It's not going to punish me here, though. You see, I've got double tap, and I get to dual wield Iron Waves, so I'll have plenty of block, and I won't be vulnerable next turn. Yeah. Take some damage from my curse, get hit, doesn't matter because I'm so blocked up. And looks like we are about to attack. I decide to hang on to the feed to keep it in my deck so that maybe I can get some max HP one day. And I think that I can this turn. It'll be great. Yes, eat him. Get a dex potion. And I decided that because I have corruption, the Feel No Pain suddenly becomes a really good card because I could play fewer skills. And that means I get to keep more skills in my deck, which is the same idea goes behind getting them italicized, which is good because, you know, the taking corruption kind of does put you on a clock. And I think I decided to take the trip. It seems good with the Paper Frog, so might as well grab it, even though I will have to draw it at some point. And I think about this long and hard because those apparitions are really good. But at the same time, that's a lot of health to be losing. And I'm damaged, but I'm not so damaged that I wouldn't be losing health by going for this, so I believe I turn it down. Let's say I would have lost 9 health, I think. And of course the max health I'd be losing. Okay, so we get our elite fight for Act 2. And I was pretty confident in my ability to handle the elites because I did take a path, if you saw, that required me to fight 2 of them. And I should have popped that dex potion before, but I didn't. And that's because I'm bad. Okay. So this is good. Yeah, no, don't play that defend. Don't do that. Yeah, cool. Now we're entangled. And being entangled here is pretty lethal. Takes me down to 1 health again. That's okay. That's where I hang out, is 1 health. That's what I do. So I do get to make him vulnerable. Hey, look, I drew that trip that I bought. And because of that, I die. So maybe it wasn't a good idea to buy it. Um, if it caused me to die, then yeah, let's be results oriented. It was terrible. Thanks for watching.